Zain, it's been a pleasure to see you today here at Levitas. I'm so grateful for you coming. Um, London Nootropics, the founder, what a wonderful sort of project, therapy, supplement. Tell me a little bit about your journey getting your hair.
Thanks for having me, first of all, Ash. The journey started many moons ago, right? So the way we discovered adaptogens was actually we went looking for them,
Okay.
and me and my co-founder Shez, we were having coffee as like an alternative to chemical-laced pre-workout drinks for the gym, and we started adding other things to coffee.
Okay.
Like just to try to be healthy, like 100% natural.
Yes.
Shez was pre-making it, giving it to everyone, saying, like, look what we've made.
Yeah.
And people were like, yo, I'll buy this stuff. This stuff's good, right?
Yes.
So we had no idea what we're doing. So we got in touch with a nutritionist. And she's just like, I love what you guys are doing, but you have no idea what you're doing, right? She's like, you're essentially adding guarana extract and other things onto coffee.
Right.
It's like caffeine on caffeine. No wonder you're getting like this buzz from it.
Okay.
But it is natural, but you need to look into functional mushrooms and other adaptogens. These are the synergies with adaptogens and caffeine and coffee. Like, this is why they go together. And then she's like, these are really, really high quality adaptogens. Try them and you'll see what I mean.
Yes.
And like that day when we tried adaptogens for the first time, it was like our brain turned on like a light bulb.
Yes.
Like not just like a business light bulb,
No.
but like a physical, oh, this is what my brain's like when it's working,
Goodness.
right? That turned on.
Goodness.
I remember like just skipping around going like everything works. And
Yes.
then we decided like after I think it was a few months, that we're still trying to make this pre-workout thing. We're like, wait, so we're having different adaptogens every day depending on what we need in our day.
Right.
So then we just launched the 3 blends that we initially launched with.
Incredible. So what you did was turbocharge caffeine.
Well, it was like caffeine's actually good for us, right? And coffee and caffeine's good for us. It's got like the cardiovascular studies, like those health benefits.
Yes.
But the health benefit we see is that mental health benefit, the routine that we go through. Do you know, I need a coffee in the morning, wake up, you know?
Yes.
Get a lift in my day, but there are some side effects.
Yes.
So caffeine on its own is absorbed quickly.
Right.
So we tend to get a spike, and then a lot of people like they kind of have a dip.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I need another coffee.
Yeah.
And people have 3, 4, 5 coffees in a day.
Yeah.
And they kind of ride this caffeine wave up and down, right, throughout the day. And when you have 3, 4, 5 coffees, or you're sensitive to caffeine and you have 1 coffee, you spike your cortisol, your stress hormone.
Yes. Yeah.
And then people will get like palpitation, jitters, anxiety, and then people are like, no, coffee's not good. Like,
yes. Yeah.
So adaptogens, there's 2 main synergies. One of them is they've been shown to stop that spiking crash.
Okay.
So you can have a coffee with certain adaptogens and you don't get the spiking crash, you get sustained energy.
Right.
And the other one is adaptogens like ashwagandha are known to work on our adrenals to keep our cortisol balanced.
Yes.
So people can enjoy the benefits of caffeine and the lift in the day without the cortisol spiking.
That's so clever. So the word adaptogen is essentially that it adapts to what's needed. So depending on what you're feeling like, it can take you up or take you down.
Exactly.
Would that be right? So when you mix this with caffeine, it stabilizes everything to some extent. So you won't get the adrenaline drive, but you'll get the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And how did you decide what to mix in? You know, give me some examples of the brands you have and when you would use what.
So, our most balancing blend is Zen. Now we made Zen. It's like when you're having a really stressful day or afternoon and you need a coffee, you need the lift.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm going to feel wired after this coffee.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be too much, but I need it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like for when you're having a stressful day. So we have KSM 66 ashwagandha in Zen.
Incredible.
And some L-theanine. Now, this is the balancing one. It's meant to stop that cortisol spike so you can enjoy caffeine and stay balanced. But when we launched, we realized that a lot of people were writing to us saying, oh my God, I've tried your Zen coffee and it's the first time I've had coffee in years without side effects, that I can enjoy coffee again.
Yeah.
So it quickly became like the coffee for those sensitive to caffeine.
That is so clever. Yes.
So that's the Zen.
Yeah.
And what we realized as well was like, we were having like only 1 or 2 adaptogens. We weren't mixing like everything.
No.
Because it was like, what do you need in that moment?
Yes.
Like, do you want to wake up your mind? Do you want to like clear your brain fog? Do you want to wake up your body and give you energy? Do you want to calm down? Are you stressed?
Yes.
So we have 2 adaptogens, but an effective amount in each of our blends.
Okay.
Apart from our new mush love blend, but we'll get into
We'll
that.
get there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have Zen, and then Zen doesn't have any mushrooms in it. KSM-CT6 and L-theanine. Then we have Flow, which is our most popular blend, with Hepatotera lion's mane and rhodiola rosea. So 2 adaptogens known to help with cognitive function.
Excellent.
So this one is like clear your brain fog in the morning, have the productive day, find your most productive self. And then Mojo, if Flow is like wake the brain up, Mojo is like wake the body up.
Right.
With Hepatotera cordyceps and Siberian ginseng.
Wow. Yes.
So cordyceps are known for aerobic capacity, oxygen flow, boost your ATP, so to give you energy.
Fantastic.
Also, like with all adaptogens, we talk about like, okay, we made Flow for this, we made Zen for this, but there are a lot of other benefits that they give you as well, right? So there's studies with lion's mane on your gut and your digestive system.
Absolutely, yes.
So some people that are like, do you know what, coffee doesn't agree with my gut? Do you know, I can have the Flow coffee.
Yes.
And then with Mojo, with cordyceps, it's known to help rapidly reset a body clock from jet lag and travel fatigue.
Fantastic.
So like hotels that we work with, they love Mojo for their jet lag travelers. But also if you're just traveling around, you learn about like, okay, do you know what, I need some cordyceps today,
Yes.
a reset.
Yes.
And all our systems are different, right?
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
So we always tell everyone that we work with and all our customers, like listen to your internal cues and find out what works best for you.
Yes.
Like what do you need?
Yes. I think that's amazing. I think what I'm hearing here is the value of this is in its simplicity and its logic. You know, we all know about cordyceps, we know about adaptogenics, we know about caffeine, but what you've brought is you've put synergy in these things and also made the blends dependent on what you need. And I think that's incredible because ultimately we just take the same coffee 3 times a day, right?
Yeah.
So, but actually the needs are very different. Like you said, the morning needs, the afternoon needs, that little wake up without wiring you need. That's the sort of coffee people really want towards the end of the day. The other thing I didn't appreciate was how the caffeine sensitive individuals, you can put the brakes on that level. So it's perfect. It's almost keeping you at the right energy in the right place without driving that cortisol drive that can sometimes cause issues and make you wired. So that's pretty good. And so this was really an accidental eureka find then, by the sounds of it. And then you just went with the sort of intuition and took it further.
Yeah.
Clearly very successful. I mean, a lot of our patients are using it and asking for it. What's new on the horizon for you then?
What is new? So at the moment, it's like, what's next week? What day is it? I'm so busy. But we did launch a limited edition. Well, it was limited edition.
Okay.
A new blend, the Mush Love blend. Have you tried it?
No.
So it has 3 different Hepatotera mushrooms.
Yes.
So lion's mane for brain, cordyceps for body, and chaga for immune.
Right. Okay.
So this one is now
one coffee.
In one coffee.
Amazing.
So three different mushrooms.
Yes.
So we went against our rule of like 2 per blend with good synergies, and not like an all-in-one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they're all like very specific, and it's like you often don't need calm and energy and focus all at once.
Correct.
But with Mush Love, it was made in collaboration with fantastic fungi, they were a viral Netflix documentary on mushrooms.
Yes.
And we met the director, Louis Schwarzberg.
Oh, amazing.
It was really cool. And we met him more than once, just by coincidence again. And he loves what we do with quality and that we use the Hepatotera mushrooms. And he was like, listen guys, can you make me one for my store in America?
Wow.
So we made it for like winter morning.
Yes.
It's like you need like a big mushroom hug on winter morning. Now we've just, like, people were like, no, we want to keep it. So now it's like the summer travel.
Yes.
You know, you need a bit of immunity when you're going through the airport.
Going through the airport, off the plane, etc.
With the cordyceps for the jet lag, the lion's mane.
Yes.
So when we sleep in a new environment, that's not our like safe space, like our home bed. Apparently, only half our brain fully rests.
Right, because you're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and it's like an evolutionary thing, because back in the days when you're in like a cave, you don't know if there's a tiger living in there. So half your brain has
You've got to stay alert. Yes, yes. How fascinating. So that's the issue about going to stay in a new place in a hotel. You're not quite restful.
Yeah.
And what this does is kind of give you that permission to be restful.
Exactly. Unless you do some crazy breath work.
Yes. So just a bit about yourself. I mean, whilst this may have sounded accidental, it almost feels that your mindset was in this zone already. Tell me a little bit about your personal story. You know, we talk about longevity now, root cause analysis, and a lot of these things are taking us back to nature. So, of course, cordyceps being there longer than humans, you know. Caffeine is part of metropolitan life. You know, what you've done is brought nature and nurture together in a beautiful synergy. But you must have something within you that's sort of driven all of this. So tell me a little bit about your own personal history and what you do for yourself.
Yeah, so, you know, on that thought came to mind, it was like, I remember when we were having adaptogens for the first time, and we were basically like, holy shit, like, why aren't everyone taking adaptogens every single day to like elevate their day or to find their flow? It was crazy. It was like, these things are just there. Why is no one like, why isn't this like in every single household, like as a standard thing? That was crazy. That was a crazy moment for us going like, hold on, wait a sec. That was, it's like right under your nose. But so personally, always been quite health conscious, but not to no extremes. Like I'm no Brian Johnson. Not to no extremes, but I think maybe more so after we launched the brand, that we started going deeper into like the biohacking space, the longevity space, call it bioharmonizing now.
Yes, nice.
And then getting like the trackers, looking at your sleep score and everything. But I think the most important thing is your sleep. Totally. Everything, right?
Yes.
So if there's, you know, we had this question at dinner recently, and someone's like, what are the 2 things for health if you had to give up everything that you do? So I know what mine are. I want to know what yours are.
Right. I guess being in the longevity space for me, I would say for me, sleep. It comes probably as number 1. Now, why? Because I truly believe that, well, I know that if I'm not a great sleeper. So if I can get 4 or 5 hours of restful sleep, my day is very different. But I'm one of those individuals that's up and down. My bed's like a war zone when I wake up. You know, literally, I'm tossing and turning. So I know it's this cortisol that there's no brakes on. So for me, sleep is a good indicator that I'm calm. It's a radar that things are okay for me. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I know it's probably controversial, but sunshine. I you know, seeing light, sun. I think there's a lot of energy in the sun. We know about vitamin D and how powerful vitamin D is as a hormone. So I think sleep and sunshine.
Sleep and sun, that's so nice.
How about you?
Sleep and breath work.
Okay.
We talked about breath work.
Yes.
I think those are the 2 things that I can do.
Yeah. Well, I guess in some ways, breath work has certainly been brought into my life over the last year or 2. Following a conversation I had with you when you were talking about the benefits of breathing and holotropic breathing, and some of the people you've met, some of the stories you've had. I mean, it was just inspiring, and it's taken me on a bit of a journey. I learned a bit of breath work with AJ, our colleague who does the dark retreats, and also Alan Dolan, who was at our conference. And it's the elixir of life. It's out there and it's free. We just need to bring it into ourselves. But what I didn't appreciate is how dynamic and strong it could be. I did some work with Dr. Espen in Hudson, just outside New York, and we did a 30-minute session of holotropic breathing. And it was incredible. It was almost like a psychedelic experience, you know. Needed to be guided. But the people around me, I mean, literally, it was a game changer. And that was 30 minutes, you know.
It's insane.
So I think what I'm appreciating is that everything we need to heal is out there. We just need to seek it. Just like you're saying, why isn't everyone on adaptogens? Awareness. We weren't, even in the medical profession, I'd say 90% of our doctors won't know what an adaptogen is, you know? So I think for me, breath work, sunshine, sleep, it all sounds too basic, doesn't it? But ultimately, we come from nature, so the solutions are all there. But we don't explain how powerful these things are. So the sort of work you're doing with coffee, sort of amalgamating the adaptogens, the cordyceps, is kind of helping bring nature out. And it's a bit like a strand, you know, once you start opening one bit, it leads you to different pathways.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally it.
So it doesn't matter where you come in, whether it's breath work or sleep studies or coffee or cordyceps, it's just about opening that door a little bit and the rest just flows through.
Exactly.
So you're quite a big part of this longevity journey, because London Nootropics is making quite an impact on people's lives. Can you give me some stories of people's successes with your coffee? and what they've been able to change.
Got so many.
Yeah.
We did one because we were making a post on social media, and
Yeah.
we had like little bubbles come up of like what people have wrote to us. And there was one guy that he wrote us a letter, and it was like, I honestly think that you guys saved my marriage. And we were just like, no, this guy's joking. But he was literally like, you saved my marriage. Like, I was so stressed out. I didn't know what was going on. And like, I started having your adaptogenic coffees. I was so much more balanced. I started being more aware, like being more present.
Yeah.
And I realized I was about to lose my marriage. And I really think it's down to, I was like, listen, dude, like it was on you. But there's some like that, and there's some insane ones. There was one more where someone wrote to us and they said, I started giving my elderly parent your float coffee in their final months, and they were like deep in like Alzheimer's, dementia. Like this is like in the last month, like they were more aware. They knew who I was, and I got to say goodbye to them. And
That's
that was
big.
just like,
that's huge.
But we don't know how much is it down to like the adaptogenic coffee. How much is it like biology, belief, and stuff?
Does it matter?
Because it's exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, we seem to get so het up on what is it that works. And we know that there's 30 trillion cells all interconnected, and there's multiple factors. So I think we should be moving away from what works to does it matter, and it has worked. You know, those stories tell you, well, that's the outcome you wanted. And the science behind it is very tricky because, you know, no one can manage 30 trillion relationships. And all the trials in medicine are randomized controlled trials just looking at one relationship, but it doesn't work in one relationship. So I think what I feel about longevity is that we need to now move towards outcomes. You know, is your quality of life better? Are your relationships better? Are you more joyful? Are you sleeping better? Those are the outcomes that truly matter. You know?
This is true.
And how many times have we seen one research project and 3 years ago they change it and they change it again? Nature hasn't changed in millions of years. It's the solid ground. It's the same principles as it was a million years ago. So I think we can trust it. The other thing I've noted in my studying and observing this space is, if you look at every culture in the world or every religion, the starting point may be different, but the end point is always the same. You know, it goes back to those fundamental basics, you know. So I think from my point of view, anything that allows that door to open is fantastic. What I find interesting about how you've done it, though, is the very group of people who love caffeine, or actually love caffeine, they need caffeine, are probably the ones who need the nootropics and the adaptogenics. So you've kind of opened the door to these guys indirectly.
This is true, you know, I've never thought about it like that before.
Yeah, because it's the stressy ones or the tired ones who go to that. And I think, you know, ultimately it should be in all the caffeine.
There was a guy we work with today, like a consultant. Usually we'll send, like, if we start working with someone, we send them some adaptogenic coffee, and we worked with him for 6 months, and he was in the office. And I realized he'd never tried that coffee before. So I gave him some, and he wrote to me today, and he says he usually has 8 espresso shots a day.
Wow.
And he's like, today I just had 2 adaptogenic coffees, and I didn't even think about having an espresso.
That's
and
incredible.
he's like, I've just realized, it was like 5 o'clock, he messaged me. And I was like, thank you.
And again, it makes sense because he's getting that big high, but he gets the crash and he needs another one, and he needs another one. What you want to do is stabilize. I think a lot of medical problems are just that. With dopamine, for example, you know, with ADHD, it's about that dopamine rush and up and down, up and down. What you want to do is level out. So anything like nootropics, which just level the brain out, are fantastic. Have you thought about fats, MCT oil in your coffee and things like that?
Do you know what we add? I was speaking to a longevity coach. She always adds olive oil. And I'm like, okay, nice one. But we like, Shez loves to add butter. And like sometimes we do like emulsify some MCT and put it in and stuff. Now maybe there's something we can create where it's already in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, for me, the bullet coffee concept plus nootropics is just a phenomenal thought, you know, because you'll get the fats going straight across the blood-brain barrier, calming the brain down, and your nootropics, and a little bit of the caffeine. I think we could have a bullet plus coffee soon.
We have to do Bullet Plus with Dr. Ash. We have to make it.
Well, look, it's a pleasure seeing you and having you here, and I know you're busy and traveling around the world and fantastic products, but I kind of see London Nootropics everywhere these days. I don't know whether I'm manifesting it, but I see your signs almost everywhere, and it's really pleasing to see that and your success. And And certainly we have it in our retail shop, where we have it downstairs for our patients and our guests, and they're loving it. So I'm very grateful for the work you're doing.
Appreciate it. Do you know what? There's two things that's like, either you're the target market, so you're always getting advertising, or you're seeing it places. The other thing is, that's how the brain works, right? You learn a new word. I think it's called your reticular activation system.
Yes.
But don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
It's like, if you learn a new word, you see that word everywhere.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yes.
Because your brain's like no.
It's like seeking it. Yes.
It's like how visions and manifesting work.
Yes.
It's like you told your mind to focus on something.
Yes.
It will start pointing it out to you.
That's very interesting.
Into your conscious.
It's so clever, isn't it? I think for me, neuroscience in the next decade is going to belong to the brain and how the brain functions. And for us, there's not a single person who can't benefit from nootropics, because we lead cerebral lives. Our bodies are not driving the agenda anymore. Our brains are. From the minute we're born, we're at schools, we're at nurseries, we're doing exams, we're at university. Our brains are working. Our primordial ancestors were physical. So the brain, when it was dictated to by the physicality, no food, no water, no shelter. So now it's the other way around, So this is the guy that we need to feed, not the body. So nootropics should be part of life, I think.
This is true. And no Neuralink.
No Neuralink. So tell me a little bit about what you're wearing there. Is that an EMF?
This is the EMF thing. And it has like, I was speaking to this guy in Tallinn at the HoloLife conference.
Okay.
Philip, because it's his brand, and he had like, he said these are titanium balls.
Yes.
And I'm quite skeptical when it comes to these.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does this do?
Yeah.
But I spoke to another biohacking coach who's quite skeptical.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's going to give me a good opinion. And he's like, there's loads of studies and stuff, just don't work to sleep. I've spoken to other people that are like, I've looked into it, I don't think it's going to benefit me. But I have the approach that, like, if it doesn't have a negative,
it doesn't harm you. It looks good too.
So it looks like a little, where I met the Dark Wojciech, there was another lady who gave a talk, and she had a very similar device. It's called art crystals, right? And does the same thing, but their technology is just insane. It's like they're going to power homes with these crystals.
Whoa.
So you don't need electricity, like you don't need gas or coal or any of this stuff.
Just the crystals.
And it doesn't degrade, so you can have it in your home for 100 years and it does the same output.
Wow, that's quite
so they're hiding somewhere, because they're hiding somewhere. They need to pass the market. But they had very, very cool ones. So I'm like, it's not like just one person or one brand. There was another one that I saw, and it's meant to do the same thing with the EMF field and stuff. So I'm like, it's very interesting.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment, the reason we're in so much trouble is there is so many invisible intruders in us. EMF, white light, heavy metals. I do a lot of heavy metal testing on my patients, and they've all got excess aluminium, lead, mercury, etc. So these are things we're breathing in, and we're not aware of them. So anything we could do to sort of Teflon coat ourselves away from these things is going to stop these inflammatory intruders coming in and degrading us. So I think it's a different way of thinking, and you're protecting yourself from your environment, which is where most of the issues lie. So I'm all for that.
Hopefully it works.
Good. Well, lovely to see you, and thank you very much.